Welcome, everybody. This is the weekly finance meeting of the Board of Commissioners. Today, June 1 it's at 1:30 p.m. appointed hours. Again, we have opportunity for public comment as we do at all public meetings. Do we have anyone other than those scheduled to speak? We have nothing. All right, we'll move on to business item number 3 on the agenda, and that is the approval of minutes of our previous meeting of May 25 this year.
Move to approve the minutes of May 25th of this year.
A second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Motion carries. All right, that brings us to our topics of discussion today. We have 2 points, both of which are going to be in the hands of our friends here from the Housing Redevelopment Authority. So we'll just let you go at it.
Don't mess it up.
Wherever you want.
So the 2 motions for you today deal with the Emergency Solutions Grant Program. We applied to DCD for those funds since the county does not qualify as a direct entitlement community under the ESG program from HUD. So the first is the application for funding for the program year 2022. Roughly the state has $5 million available for the ESG program. We're requesting, and again, this is just updated recently, $320,322.93 total. Those funds are matched by the nonprofit organizations that were applying on their behalf. So that's the first motion. The second motion is to approve an amendment to the ESG CV. When the COVID funding started coming out, some of that was allocated to the ESG program, and we're doing a small amendment, a line item under that program as well. So Alyssa has some details about the application that is due on June 10th. Alyssa?
Good afternoon. The Cumberland County Housing and Redevelopment Authorities is applying for rapid rehousing funds. And then we are also applying on behalf of Safe Harbor and Domestic Violence Shelter of Cumberland and Perry counties, as well as Community Cares. And they're looking for street outreach, homeless prevention, and emergency shelter funds. So the amount that Chris referenced, the $320,322.93, that is higher than what we initially were thinking the application would be, but Community Cares had applied for a significant amount, much more funding than they did last year. So that's where that differential comes from. And then a little more on the ESGCB1 amendment, that we're looking to move $20,000 from the rapid rehousing line item to the emergency shelter line item. And that's because during COVID, Community Cares had, due to COVID restrictions and protocols, they did not have enough room in their shelter, and they had to put some of their clients in motels and hotels, but those stays did not qualify under rapid rehousing. So they needed more emergency shelter.
Okay, we have the documentation and the experts in front of us. So anybody has questions or
What does CV mean?
Oh, sorry, that's COVID. It's short for COVID.
Okay, thanks.
So when you see it.
It's a COVID amendment.
Yeah, so whether it's going to be CBG, CV, or ESG, CV is always COVID related.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
these will have to be handled separately in the vote. So
I have a big question, so we have the numbers correct. The first item, the application for EST funds to serve homeless, is that $183,638?
That's where the corrected amount comes in. It's actually $320,822.93. We have revised.
So Commissioner DiFilippo, I have the vote, I'm just wondering.
This is it.
Oh, it's revised. Okay.
I don't see the revised number on the resolution.
Yeah, what was that?
I brought a revised resolution. It's the state gave us less than a month to get the application together, and one of our sub agencies just gave us their numbers yesterday evening. So apologize for the,
That's okay. I just, in following up on what Commissioner DiFilippo is asking, with this revised resolution, do we really need 2 action items, or does this resolution handle both?
That only handles the one the authorization of the application. This other resolution is fine. To amend the line items.
So this is the
So this is the amended resolution, but we're doing this in 2 steps. So the first motion is to apply.
Yeah, so what we're doing is asking the commissioners to authorize the government authority to apply to DCD for ESG funds.
And then the second is the resolution.
That's correct.
Okay,
Well, I'm sorry, the second one is to amend the ESG CV program, $20,000. See, what we thought we could do is just apply the budget. DCD required us to make an amendment. So when the amendment is done, we have to come before the board to get your approval to make that amendment. So there was no, we sent the motion language for both. Resolution. Just.
so when I look at the motion language, and please forgive me, but they look like they're the same thing. They both say 183, 638.
There's not a separate motion.
So,
this one indicates the 320 figure. Is that what we're
Yes.
talking about? Okay.
Yeah. There could be another motion. When I email the information out, in one email, memo, and it covers both issues with 2 motion.
Yeah, we'll still need 2 motions.
Okay.
yeah, and what is in my packet, Chris, and maybe this is just, just a human error, but, I see it. Motion to approve a resolution. So they're both motions to approve a resolution. Or is one to approve an application?
Well, we need that within the application, so it's 2 things.
Okay,
So we need, in the application, we need a resolution from the commissioners. And it shows that they authorize the submission of the application.
okay,
Okay.
okay.
What I did not include was a separate resolution for the amendment. And this same motion.
Okay.
That's on me.
No, that's what I just,
we did
make sure that we've got it.
yeah, and
Okay, well, we have it right here, so.
I think there were 2, what's confusing is, on the contract grant approval process form, I think some of the same language was used there, but there were 2 attachments for 2 separate resolutions. The only difference is under number 2. So when you look at 2, one says move $20,000 of funding, and then on the other resolution, it says application in the amount of 183,000, but that was updated to the new form that you have, to the 320,000.
32322. That amount that's separate from this amendment request, the second request. The second thing is not fixing the first one.
Yes, there are 2 different grants. One is the ESG 2022 application. The amendment is for our current ESG CV1 grant.
Okay, so just so we're all certain, Bridget, could I trouble you to just make that and distribute them to the commissioners so we have it in hand, then we're all voting on the correct thing.
So your proposed motion language then for the first motion and then the second motion, that's still accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
This should have been, that's the resolution for the amendment for moving $20,000. That's the.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it just took me a minute, sorry, just took a minute. And you want this done right the first time,
Yes.
and I know that you've been here to talk about it. Yes.
You know, I just noticed too, I mean, we do, at least my packet has two different memos regarding the resolution, but they are both exactly the same.
I copied the memos from in the orange folder.
It's the addition of the resolution that you brought today that clears it all up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, so we have everything in hand. Is everyone confident that we know what we're doing? I don't know how else to put it, so we're clear on what we're voting on. Yes, no, okay, so, I'm sorry, did we have a motion?
No.
Okay, because Vince raised his question regarding it, so, okay, so we're waiting on the motion.
So I will move to approve a resolution authorizing the Cumberland County Redevelopment Authority to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for Emergency Solutions Grants Funds in the amount of $183,638. The proposed activities to be undertaken by homeless service providers are emergency shelter, essential services, street outreach, and rapid rehousing.
I think
That
that's
has been amended to the 320,000. 300,000.
Okay, so I will amend my motion. Okay. To change the amount of the grant funds to 300. Let me just move this paper. To $320,322.93.
the remainder of the motion is the same, correct?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, I'll second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. One question I've noticed there's no resolution number here. That would have actually, made things a little simpler too. So we currently, I guess that's assigned probably by our solicitor. We don't have that right now. So for the record, we're going to have to note that we don't have the resolution number because we don't have a specific resolution we're voting on other than,
Did we get an email from Stacy numbering those resolutions? Or not from Stacy, from Angela, numbering those resolutions?
That's for the.
Oh, that was
fire
for,
tax.
yeah.
we do not have a resolution number. So let's do it this way. Let's designate it as resolution to be numbered A, letter A.
So I would amend my motion to also add the piece stating that the resolution has yet to be numbered.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll second.
And the other resolution also likewise has no number, am I right?
Correct.
Okay. So let's let the motion also reflect that this is letter A. And the next one will be letter B. We have to have some identifier to just differentiate those.
Do you want me to just reframe the motion?
You can do it however you want. I just want to make sure we're including, and you can use another designation. if you
Yeah, no,
like.
that's fine. So I would restate the motion to say, I move to approve a resolution differentiated today as resolution letter A, authorizing the Cumberland County Redevelopment Authority to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for emergency solutions grant funds in the amount of $320,323.93. The proposed activities to be undertaken by homeless service providers are emergency shelter, essential services, street outreach, and rapid rehousing. Good. Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any questions? If there's no questions, we'll close it.
Are we certain that what we're doing today is sufficient?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Okay, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Is abstaining. Okay, motion carries. So, all right, and we have the amendment resolution as well requiring action.
So I will move to approve a resolution yet to be numbered but designated today as resolution letter B, authorizing a change in the county's DCED Emergency Solutions Grant CP program. The change involves moving funds from the rapid rehousing program to the emergency shelter operations and essential services line items for a domestic violence shelter. The redevelopment authority is authorized to submit all required information to DCED. Are we good? Okay.
Could we include the amount that's been $20,000?
I'm happy with adding that.
Okay.
That's accurate, right?
According
Okay.
to this document.
So I would amend the motion to include the moving funds in the amount of $20,000 from the rapid rehousing program.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Any last questions or clarifications anybody needs? Okay, if not, we'll call the motion. All in favor of the action indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
It's motion carries unanimously. I think we've concluded that business. If you folks find you need anything else, let us know.
Yeah.
And I think we have in hand all the documentation that's required for the public record at this point. So everyone's satisfied with that? We'll conclude the discussion items or the action items for today, which was agenda item 4. Thank you all. Okay, that brings us to number 5, which is other business.
Yes, I'd like to request that we amend the agenda. And the reason for my request is to adopt an ordinance as soon as possible regarding real estate tax credit for active Cumberland County volunteer firefighters and volunteer EMS personnel residing in Cumberland County. So I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda and to authorize to advertise and schedule a public hearing at 1:15 p.m. on June 15th, 2022 for ordinance 2022-2, which is an ordinance of Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, providing for a real estate tax credit for active Cumberland County volunteer firefighters and volunteer EMS personnel residing in Cumberland County.
I second that motion.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. For clarity, as I understand it, the motion is simply to amend the agenda to include this business item.
Correct.
And that allows us then to take formal action on the business item. So at this point, that is the motion. It has been moved and seconded. There's no further questions or clarifications. We'll call the vote. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, so that allows us to add the agenda item and brings us to the next step.
Yes, I'll make a motion to authorize and schedule a public hearing on June 15th, 2022 at 1:15 p.m. for ordinance 2022-2, which is an ordinance of Cumberland County, Pennsylvania, providing for a real estate tax credit for active Cumberland County volunteer firefighters and volunteer EMS personnel residing in Cumberland County.
I second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the action to authorize and schedule the public hearing. Are there any questions, comments? The only comment I'll make is I have made a request to the solicitor for some additional information on oversight. I have not received a response on that. However, I am in favor of this forward. May have more questions later, but at this point, to expedite the ordinance moving, I'm fine with it. We'll call the vote. All in favor of the action indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
There are none opposed. The motion carries unanimously. Okay. And that there are additional things we have to do after the meeting to ensure that this follows the law. We'll be posting the amended agenda promptly. It has to be done within the first 24 hours after this action. We will take care of that today. And the minutes also have to reflect both votes and to include the reason for the amendment as part of the explanation of the minutes. So, okay, I think that covers everything we have there, except, does that conclude the business item? I hear nothing else, so we can move back to the agenda. We're still under other business. So if there are other items to be brought before the board, now is the time. Anyone? I hear nothing, so at this point, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
We stand adjourned.